I'm Marc Lichtenfeld. You're watching TheStreet.com TV. I'm here with the Traders Expo co-founder Tim Bourquin. Tim, great to see you. Tell me about how traders are different today. Are you seeing the same person trading that you saw in 1999, 2000 during the dot-com boom?
When we started in 1999, it was a much different audience. I mean, I remember coming up in those first shows, people coming up to us and saying, I just quit my job on Friday. Which class should I go to first? I've got $20,000 in savings I'm going to trade with. And the first thing I said even back then was go back first of all and get your job back, because that's not the way you want to trade. You know, the necessity to you have to make money every month. Right now, and then after the dot-com crash, it really came down where it was a lot less people trading, getting involved in this, and really thinking about it as a career, basically. Now you have folks that are coming back into the market. I'm hearing from people even calling us that haven't been to a show since 2000 but are now starting to come back into the markets. But a much more regulated idea of what they can expect from the markets, much more measured. They're not thinking that they're going to be able to take $20,000 and make a living on this, making $15,000 a month or doubling their money every month. So I think it's much more healthy way to get into the market. So while they're still excited about the possibilities of trading and what they can achieve with that, I think they have a much better understanding of what they can expect and to get into it in a much more measured way and not think of it as a get-rich-quick scheme.
And now at your shows, what are some of the popular classes? I mean, what are people, or how are people trading? Are they trading fundamentally, technically? You know, what's in style right now?
I think a combination of both. I mean, most people that come to the show rely on charts quite a bit. They are looking at short-term charts and long-terms and dailies and a little bit of everything to try and get a big picture of where something is going. But they don't discount the fundamental as well. There are a lot less people that trade purely on news and try to take advantage of that. But what they do is they look at a chart, they see, try to make an educated guess as to where the direction is and what kind of trade they want to put on, and then they'll look at the fundamentals. Are there some earnings news coming out? Are there some big ideas about overall economy that they need to consider? So they're taking it into account, but I would say still very much a technical crowd and using charts to make all of its trading decisions.
Is there a specific style or even vehicle that is working especially well in this market?
Forex is gotten increasingly popular over the last couple of years. We see a lot of people trying their hand at currency trading. There's some more vehicles coming out to trade currency. There, you've always had futures, of course, and then the spot market, but there are some FX options that are coming out that people are going to start to trade. So that's done very well, and people are really getting excited about that. But I think even in the stock market, the people are still starting there. Instead of trying to just find the hot stock of the day to trade, though, what they're doing is they're getting comfortable with a basket of stocks that they feel very good about, whether it's Google or Microsoft or Yahoo or non-technical technology stocks as well. They're getting comfortable with how they move, watching it on a daily basis, and then trading those each day regardless of what the news is. Now, there will always be opportunities where people take the most active stocks or something that's had news that hasn't been on the radar, that they're looking to take advantage of just for the day. But I think just getting comfortable with a certain sector or a certain group of stocks is the way that people are going.
Now, it's interesting that you mentioned the tech stocks, the Googles, Microsofts. I mean, those were obviously where people flocked during the dot-com boom. So what other areas do you see the active trader really getting involved in?
A lot of biotechnology, healthcare, still kind of on the scientific side. I think a lot of traders kind of come from that background. They're either technology geeks of some sort, or they come from some sort of technology background. So it's what they're comfortable with, which I think is a good thing, that you should be trading what you know and are comfortable with. So those things have always been very popular. Real estate, REITs in some sense before now. Even now with the housing bust, if there is such a thing, people trading that on the downside and things like that. So a variety of things, but still very technology driven, even if healthcare, if not directly to the internet, which is also doing very well too.
Now, before you mentioned Microsoft and Yahoo, and there are those rumors out there of a possible acquisition, and we have had a lot of mergers in the last year or so. Is there a specific way that you would recommend that people can play M&A or even the rumors of M&A?
Sure. A lot of people, what they'll do is instead of trying to guess what's going to happen or what the mergers are going to be, they'll wait for it to actually happen or the rumor to happen, then maybe wait for the over-exaggeration, whatever move that is, and then play it after it pulls back a little bit. So if it's on the upside, they'll wait for it to come up, and as people kind of sell off and take profits, they'll wait for it to dip back down again and buy there, and then ride it back up again. And inversely on the short side as well, if something has bad news, they'll wait for the overreaction and then play it after the fact. So I think it's probably a much I don't want to say safer bet, but a little easier way to play that rather than trying to guess what the next acquisition is going to be and then trying to get in beforehand.
All right, Tim, thanks very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Tim Bourquin, he's the co-founder of the Traders Expo, and you can see Tim June 20th to the 22nd in San Diego at the Traders Expo, and our own Jim Cramer will be giving a speech there as well, so you definitely want to check that out, and you can go to tradersexpo.com for more information. You're watching TheStreet.com TV. I'm Marc Lichtenfeld.